Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you knew the answer to this question before you clicked on the video. Okay, and what I'm not going to do here is confirm your fear and say, yes, you are too old to learn Italian. It's exactly as bad as you thought. In fact, it's worse than you thought. Nobody can do it, and you should just give up and never go to Italy again, basically. Okay, obviously not. So the obvious answer is no, you are not too old to learn Italian. Anybody can learn anything at any age, and it's just about the mental aspect of do you believe that. But, and there is a but, a lot of my students, and this might be you, are kind of in their 50s or slightly over. They're learning Italian because their families are from there, or their partner's family is from there, or they've bought a property there, or something like that, and they have people they want to speak to. And a big commonality is just the attitude to learning. Okay. And if you are a little bit later on in your life, okay, now I'm not saying 80, 80 plus, but if you are, a little bit later on, then your attitude to learning is probably going to be very different now to how it was when you were younger. And I think that that is a big factor in whether people can actually go ahead and learn Italian to a conversational level. It's just a belief of whether they can do it. It's very easy when you have been doing your job for or your business or whatever it is that you do for the past 20, 30 years, maybe, and you've gotten pretty good at it. There probably aren't many things in life where you absolutely suck and you have to start from complete zero. Of course, you do your job, you get good at your trade, you're good at your business, you go to maybe a couple of holiday spots that you particularly like, let's be honest, you get a bit comfortable, and that's fine. On one hand, you've earned that, but exposing yourself to the failure and repetition of learning a new language can be difficult. Um, yeah, just honestly, a lot of people, no one comes to me as a student and says, you know what, I'm extremely confident about this journey. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and that is okay. I'm going to feel great about that. Let's go. A lot of people are just saying, oh, can I do it? This just seems too long. I've had a look and I haven't gotten anywhere. I've got all these different notes. I don't know what to do. I've been trying for a number of years. Every time I go, I still can't speak to my sister. It's just a mess. And when we have a bad lesson in particular, when I say bad lesson, I mean when we have a lesson where we will encounter something new, something challenging, a new pronunciation, or a piece of advanced grammar, or I might try and bring up something in conversation that we maybe covered a few lessons ago, a lot of people will just kind of go, ugh, do you know what? I hate this. I'm sorry. I feel rubbish. I've let you down. What do you mean you let me down? You're paying me to teach you, and you think you're letting me down. You know, I'm happy. So, my point is the attitude to learning is, I think, something that tends to be associated more with the slightly older generation, slightly more mature generation, simply because of it's been a while since you've been exposed to so much failure. For the most part, okay, I'm generalizing. So, what I really want you to think about is, this is a journey. The point is, if you just do this consistently for a year, you will be better at the end than when you started. Okay, and today there are loads and loads of tools, too many. Okay, and they give you a lot of vocab. They're great for. I hear from people just the amount of things that are in their head is fantastic, and really the challenge is kind of just joining those up. So these are simple things with like getting the masculine and plural, masculine, feminine, singular and plural names correct, knowing when to use il and e, knowing when to use mie and mio versus suo, suoi, etc. And there's just a lot of small mistakes, but if you have that kind of base level of vocab, learning a little bit of grammar, I think will just help tie everything together and obviously just get more confident speaking Italian. Of course, there are many more parts to learning a language, but tends to be that yeah, there's a lot of information in your head, but you're just not quite sure how to sew that together into a coherent sentence. So, what I want you to think about, kind of from a mental perspective, is let's say you watch a video on YouTube from a different YouTuber that's 20 minutes long about the past tense in Italian. Yeah. So, you watch that in 20 minutes. That video probably took hours of work to assemble. Okay. And that information that's being conveyed in that video probably took years to learn and master. Okay, obviously, if it's being produced by an Italian teacher, they will have done it throughout their childhood. But whoever it's by, my point is, it's not something that happens overnight. But you watch that video in 20 minutes and you think, oh, I'm never going to get this. Well, that's not the point. The point is that you're not supposed to get it. Okay, the point is that you're supposed to be introduced to some of these ideas, and that maybe the fourth or fifth or sixth time that you see it, then it starts to go in, then it starts to click. Okay, it's obvious, we're always discovering this language. It's a lovely, beautiful tongue, and it will take a while for that to actually sink in. Let's take something like the passato prossimo, the past tense. You know, if I said to you, sono andato al supermercato, I went to the supermarket. You know, you might hear that for the first time and just go, well, what the hell was that? Well, then the next few times you hear it, you might say, okay, sono andato, sono, that comes from essere, io sono, I am. Why do we use that in the past tense? Okay, so sono andato is I went. Then we might do some other exercises on the plural, going from il pane to I pani, whatever, the breads. Okay, I know it's a random sentence. But then we come back, we might say siamo andati. Okay, well, Lorenzo, why do we say sono andato with an O, but we say siamo andati with an I? Ah, that's because we've been practicing the plurals. But now you see how it links back to what we were doing before the first time I showed you the passato prossimo. But when you saw it then, you thought doom and gloom because I've never seen it. But as we expose you to more things in Italian, then it starts to make sense. Okay, so I just wanted it to be a little motivational, inspirational video for are you too old to learn Italian? No, but just be aware that your attitude to learning is probably, and as a result of your progress in life and you doing things that you tend to be good at more than things that you tend to suck at, that learning Italian is going to be a bit tricky. Okay, thank you for watching. If you would like to practice your Italian, I have got a Italian quiz practicer that I've made, a little grammar practicer. That I'm just going to link in the description and you can go and have a go. No one is going to see your score. Don't worry if you get 0, it doesn't matter, but just have a go. All right, so I'll leave that link in the description and have a great day.